So do you think the women's gymnastics uniforms and really a lot of the female athletes' uniforms in the Olympics need to be desexualized? It's a topic that's going on right now because Germany said, yeah, we don't like it. The German female gymnastics team are wearing unitards.
Which are what? Like reason. For us people who don't wear unitards very often, they are completely covering all their full body
thing. I'm just curious, what do you think about this? Do you think that it is time for female athletes to be able to wear comfortable clothes when they're competing? You know, here's the outfit that, I don't know if you can see it, that Germany is wearing. It's like a full body onesie. It's
like yoga pants and
all in one.
Because prior it was like what they're saying is like a swimsuit, a bikini swimsuit, right?
Right, that has really skimpy bottoms, and you see them every time they're doing their flips and stuff. They're always adjusting.
Right.
I'm not comfortable walking around like that, let alone doing backflips. I don't know how they do it. And it's not just gymnastics. This is a topic trending right now during the Olympics. I'm curious, do you think it's overkill? Or do you think, yeah, it needs to change? I think the reason why it does need to change is because it filters down to younger athletes like my daughters. So even the swimsuits that the women are wearing are really skimpy. Some of them are wearing full body. Like I noticed on the butterfly. The butterfly, they're wearing full body suits. That seems to be a lot more comfortable. But look at the beach volleyball.
I know. The beach volleyball,
the women
they're
wear,
pretty...
and the guys just wear comfortable shorts.
But are they wearing these smaller outfits?
Yes, uniforms.
Because they help them to perform better. They help them to be more athletic.
I don't think I've ever performed better wearing something skimpy like that.
Well, then where did this come from? I mean, is it made to increase ratings at the Olympics so more people view these things? I mean, I guarantee there's a lot of people watching beach volleyball that have no interest in the sport, but they're watching because of the revealing uniforms.
And why can't you just let the women be athletes instead of having to worry? And the whole thing started with the gymnastics controversy, the U.S. women gymnastics controversy, and what happened with the really inappropriate, the bad guy that did some horrible things to our female gymnasts. So maybe it's like, it's not about being attractive. It's about winning gold medals.
Right.
Why does it also have to be about looking good?
And I personally, when looking at the unitards, I think they look great. I think they look just as good, if not better, than what they were wearing.
They look a lot more comfortable, don't
they? Well, it's just a more full uniform. It looks visually more appealing than what they were wearing, in my opinion. And I don't know. I mean, I guess it's all up to the athletes. What is their perspective? How do they feel about their performing and being athletic in different types of uniforms, or do they feel it's more revealing? I mean, it's up to them.
It's up to them, but I think it's a very important decision, which is what I think is so cool about Germany. They said this purposely because they're like, look, those leotards, they're sexualizing us. We want to be more comfortable. We're going to wear this.
Right.
I think it's important because I see my daughter plays volleyball, and she wears the short shorts, and I always see her like tugging on them. And I was like, would you be more comfortable like wearing pants? She's like, Mom, that's not the uniform. Like, how about wearing some leggings? You're a high school student, and you're always yanking down your shorts.
Right. I've always noticed that. And I had when I'm watching these young girls playing volleyball, and I was like, wow, those are pretty short shorts.
And so I don't think it's necessary to do.
You don't think it's necessary? Because you're a volleyball mom. I wonder what your daughter thinks. She would prefer it, but she just doesn't want to look out of place with the rest of the team.
I asked her. She goes, no. I mean, nothing, at that age. You don't want to do anything that makes you look different than anybody else. Right. That's horrifying. I'm the different one. So, but if all of the professional athletes started wearing more appropriate clothing for the sport that they're playing, then that would filter down, in my opinion, to the younger athletes like my daughters.
Who look up to them, right.
Yeah.
A lot, though, I mean, are we different here in America? Are we a little bit more modest? Are we a little bit more conservative than the rest of the world when it comes to stuff like that?
I think we are.
And they're more comfortable. They're used to it. They're comfortable with wearing stuff like that.
Sure, I think we're a little bit more prudish.
Right. I mean, but are we, like you said, having a negative influence on a younger generation by putting this out on display for the world to see that, hey, this is what you wear when you're playing beach volleyball. It's this, super skimpy little bathing suit,
Yeah.
I don't know.
In front of the world that you're uncomfortable wearing. What I find is interesting is that our culture we're so focused on beauty.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
More than other cultures. Because when I've traveled to, I went to Bangladesh and worked in very extremely poor communities, extreme poverty. And they always tell you, they give you like a little bit of a cultural lesson on what not to say, like what American cultural norms don't translate. And one of the things is when you meet a young girl is telling her that she's beautiful. Because
you don't say that.
You don't say that because in that culture, it's like they don't value that as much as being smart.
Sure.
As being more like a good person for your family and a servant to your family.
Interesting.
And I found myself after learning that and that cultural training, I actually talk to my daughters and other girls I meet differently. Instead of saying, you're so beautiful, I was like, you are so strong. You are so smart. You are so capable. You are so kind.
That's true. That's a good point. Because I've noticed when we talk to Ruby, we always tell her how pretty she is. Yeah. Oh, my pretty girl.
But you don't
so
say
pretty.
The same thing to the boys.
No, that's true. But women want that and need that, don't you think? They need to have that compliment of their appearance, don't you think?
But isn't
that more important?
But have we learned that culturally that's more important and we've put too much of an emphasis on that's not where you want your daughter to find her value?
I don't, but she's still going to look for that. And I
taught that. I feel like we're taught that.
Would you say that we should start to limit our compliments to our daughter in the way she looks?
What do you want her to value how do you want her to value herself?
Interesting.
Is she pretty?
Right.
Or is she smart and is she strong and is she a kind person?
Correct. That is true. Absolutely. I want her to know that. But in the culture we live in, I also want her to know that no matter what, she's a beautiful person, that her dad and her mom think that she's beautiful. Right. Don't you think that's important though?
Yeah, I do. But I wish growing up, like if you have a chance to teach something else you're valued more than your appearance, it's when they're little.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think you bring up a good point.
Instead, you grow up and, you joke about me sometimes, like before we turn this camera on in this video, I'm like, wait, I got to do my makeup or I got to brush my hair and I never like any pictures. I really wish I was free from that and I didn't care so much.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I think you bring up a good point. But like when I'm talking with my wife or she gets dressed up for church yesterday.
Yeah.
She totally appreciates when I compliment how good she looks.
Oh, yeah, we like it. I mean, that's because that's what our culture has taught us to value. That's our worth.
Right. So that is what you've been taught that is your value, the way you look. And so we need a huge shift in our culture for women to understand that that their value doesn't come from the way they look, which I get, but it's hard because we're still there. Right. Where women still see their value in their appearance.
Yeah, because the mothers were trained that way. So how do we undo it to our daughters?
Right.
And let them
I
be
think
that
it's
way.
got to be a huge culture shift, like what's happening here. I think that's important. Yeah. I think you're right. I think it's got to be a huge culture shift where women understand that your value doesn't come, and they know that to a degree. They know, I think they understand to a degree that, of course, my value doesn't come from my appearance, but it's still important to them.
Because it's like we're emotionally trained.
Yes.
That feels good.
Because I want my daughter to believe that she's pretty and know that she's pretty and beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're all God's creation, and so we're all beautiful in our own unique way. So that's important. But at the same time, you're right. It's not about our physical appearance. So I don't know. Kim agrees, because I agree. What's on the inside is so important. So what could you say instead, but still cover both needs? Like you have such a beautiful heart. Yeah. What do you mean? Like saying that. Right. Yes. You have such a beautiful heart. Right. Because you're right. Well, from time to time, though, you're right. We do with our boys. We sometimes say, "Oh, you look so handsome," but not often.
Yeah, not as much.
Not as much. It's, "Hey, oh, buddy, you're so smart. You're so strong. Oh, you're fast. Oh, you're funny." But with Ruby, our daughter, it is, "Oh, you're so pretty. You're so beautiful."
Yeah.
So, what should we be saying? What are some things that we should say?
What
to
do
her?
you think? I would love for your way on. I say like, wow, like that. The
To a
same thing you
1-year-old.
say to the boys.
To a 1-year-old. To a 2-year-old.
Wow, like look at you. You put away your toys.
Yeah, we
Good
do
job.
that. We do
You're
that.
so helpful to the family.
Yeah.
You're so valuable. You're so smart. Look at you picking that up. You're so strong.
Right. We
Same
do
things.
that.
Yeah, I'm sure
we do.
you
We applaud her. We say, "Oh, good job."
Yeah.
But you're right.
But you have a window.
So
right
are
now with
you
her.
saying then, because this is a huge moment
This went
here.
into a different way.
Right.
Different
Are
way.
you saying, well, we're talking about we're talking about putting value in the way people look and the Olympic
outfits?
The Olympic outfits
For women, yeah.
that we need to make it a little bit more conservative. And so, so should we not compliment our daughter anymore on the way she looks? Should we not tell her that she's pretty anymore?
I wouldn't be able to go that far. Isn't that funny?
Because you do that. I'm
Part
sure
of me
you do that
wants
with
to
your daughters, right?
Yeah,
You
but-
tell them, "Oh, you look so beautiful
Because that's
today."
what someone did for me.
Yeah.
And then that's what you value. I would, if you could, not say that.
Yeah.
Think of what she would then value, which is what we want.
Right. But
I also don't.
But she's going to be living in a culture who does value your appearance. And is she going to grow up thinking, "Well, I don't remember my parents ever saying that I was beautiful or pretty"?
Oh, that's another. You're right. So it's got to be a balance. I think the complimenting on things, like sometimes when somebody says, "Oh, you've got great eyes," that's not really a compliment because I did nothing to get these. You know what I mean?
Well, no, you're right. Yeah.
Like thanks. Like this is nothing that I earned, but something like, "Oh, that is a really beautiful outfit you put together."
Right.
That actually compliments her personality.
Yeah. My
that
wife
she put
totally
together
appreciates that. Yeah.
Versus like, "You have nice hands." Right. Like I didn't do anything to earn these hands.
Right.
So maybe complimenting her on the way she chooses to make herself beautiful.
Yes. That's a good idea.
Instead of just saying beaut, because she's like, well, that's not really a personal compliment to her.
Right. That's a good idea. I think you have discovered a good balance. You're right. Where if she has done something to make herself look pretty, then we compliment that. "Oh, you did a great job."
I notice like my daughters will do that because they're experimenting with like eyeliner. And eyeliner is hard for me. I really rarely wear it because I can never get it straight. And they can't really get it straight either. But they'll come in, they're trying to do that like line that goes all the way out. It's like the cool thing. And my daughter Emily's going to be a sophomore in high school and she'll come down with it. I'm like, "Hey, that's cool." Even though like I'm like, whoa. but compliment her on like, "This is what I'm doing to take care of myself, and this is what makes me feel confident." Going back to the Olympic outfits, I don't think I would feel confident in some of the uniforms.
I think it's just
Huh?
Absolutely not. If that was my daughter doing beach volleyball, oh my gosh, I would be extremely concerned about how the world is looking at her.
Yeah.
And the gymnastics. If that was my daughter, and I mean,
Like you can't wear shorts?
Right.
Yeah. Like, why can't they wear shorts?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I hear you. Oftentimes it's just about TV ratings,
I guess
that's
we know
what it's about.
works.
But I think with my daughter, I think it's just a deeper conversation. Yes, you're beautiful. You are a beautiful girl, but that's not where your value comes from. Your value is much more than that.
So don't use the word "but." No woman likes that.
Really? You're beautiful.
You look pretty, honey, but that's not where I find your value. That's going to be a fight waiting to happen. What are you talking about? No. And use the word "and."
Oh, and you're beautiful, and
yeah.
Right.
You have such a good, kind heart, and that is so valuable to our society.
That's even more valuable.
Yeah.
That's what's really more important.
Yes, but Alicia says the same thing does happen to boys. I don't know. I mean, I guess I do kind of say something to my son sometimes. She says
say the same things you say to your boys as you do your daughter, which is right, because they're comparing. They're saying, "Hey, what are you saying to my siblings?" You're right. And you want to say the same things. And my daughter, she's still really young. She's not even 2 years old yet. So she's just beginning to understand.
You have a chance.
Yeah, there's still a chance.
There's still a chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
Do you want her to be as vain as I am, or do you want her to just be able to be herself?
It's definitely
choose the other path.
Right. It's definitely a discussion I want to have with my wife in the things we say. Because there's definitely got to be a tactic and a strategy. Because she's going to be living in this world, and I want her to have confidence in who she is.
Yes.
So.
Let me know when you figure that out. And then can you start passing it to me?
Right. Well, Anne says, no, it's just a uniform. She doesn't have an issue with it. She doesn't have, and I don't have any.
I don't have any issues. I just want them to be able to wear what they want to wear and feel comfortable.
But I think
I'm not here to judge.
And I get that. Yes, absolutely. But I think it's also important to understand, the kind of world we live in. We live in a very hyper-sexualized world, and so
and everything that happened with those gymnasts.
Yeah, exactly. And so you want to you want to encourage the gymnast or athletes to do what's best for them. And so I don't know. I haven't heard from many of the athletes on what their perspective is. I would love to hear that. Like, how do they feel about it?
Yeah, that'd be a cool press conference with Simone Biles. And hey, what do you think about Germany and the fact that the German team is wearing the unitards? Would you want to wear one of those?
Right.
I would love to ask her that.
Yes, I think that's cool.
She's cool. All right.
Luckily, we work in radio, and we're not concerned with the way we look for the most part.
Thank goodness.
At least for me. I won't speak for Amanda.
I'm so jealous of your ability to roll out of bed and put a hat on.
Hey!
I've done it sometimes, but not all the time.
Do you know how many times I was up last night with my 1-year-old daughter? 3 times. She just would not go to bed. I kept putting her back to bed, and then eventually I'm like, forget it. Get into bed with us.
You caved.
In the middle.
Sometimes it's just easier, isn't it?
Yeah, and by the way, you're so pretty.
And you're very smart.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for watching. We appreciate you. It's going to be a fantastic week.
Thank you for putting up with us.
Yeah. And if you ever have any, we always are looking for topics for these videos. So if you're like,
it was a little bit of a struggle today, I feel like.
So it's like, if you were like, I wish they would talk about this, let us know. Put it in the comments and say, Amanda, like, ask us a question.
Right.
That'd be fun that we can reply to. That would be very cool. And start off.
Do you want tax advice or recommend on meal planning tips and tricks from Amanda? Or how to make kombucha? We're doing that.
Gross.
Gross?
Yeah.
It's good for you.
Okay. Any questions, let us know. Thank you. We love you, our fish fam.